I know a lot of the people that go to the school right now, a lot of the younger people, I know their siblings very well. I've had a lot of people hitting me up online in support, a lot of my friends, and I've talked to kids who are in that class right now. And it's absolutely disgusting what we're facing right now.
We stand firmly in support of our teachers, all of our teachers and the board who are, expressing themselves through gender identity, gender expression, and of their lived experiences as human beings.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in Oakville, Ontario. And folks, I'm here at Oakville Trafalgar High School. And in most schools, when it's drag queen story time, that's typically a one-day event for a few hours. But here at Oakville Trafalgar High School, drag queen story time is anytime Mr. Lemieux, aka Miss Kayla Lemieux, is teaching shop class. You see, Mr. Lemieux is allegedly transitioning into a female, but that's not really news these days. What is news is the fact that his fake prosthetic breasts are so humongous, literally twice the size of a man's head and weighing about 35 pounds. As well, his nipples are always protruding, and he wears see-through blouses. So really, what is going on here? Is this really someone who is transitioning into a female, or perhaps is Mr. Lemieux playing some kind of prank for whatever reason? Is he maybe deliberately trying to get fired so he can file a wrongful dismissal claim? Or dare I say it, is Mr. Lemieux suffering from mental illness? And if he is, he should be treated immediately. Now, folks, if you're getting a sense of deja vu regarding our story here, it's well-founded. That's because my cameraman Lincoln J and I were here yesterday to report on this situation. Let's go over and find out what this young man is trying to do here outside Oakville Trafalgar High School. You used to be a student here at Oakville Trafalgar High School. Back when you were in class, were there any shop teachers with enormous fake breasts?
No, actually. I took shop every single year that I went here for all 4 years. And I never have any sort of recollection whatsoever of any individuals wearing a large fake bust. And I think that's the issue here. This isn't about transsexualism or anything like that, but what this is really about to me is just common decency at the end of the day. If we see an individual that has an inability to adequately control the dysphoria that they're exhibiting, I think that they should not be in a position of being a lecturer, essentially. And, I know a lot of the people that go to the school right now, a lot of the younger people, I know their siblings very well. I've had a lot of people hitting me up online in support, a lot of my friends, and I've talked to kids who are in that class right now. And it's absolutely disgusting what we're facing right now.
What are those kids saying to you?
I had one kid last night cry to me over the phone, honestly, it was...
Wow.
It's pretty brutal. But no, it's really just I can't even believe that this is happening right now. And let's be real here, no one likes this. No one enjoys that this is happening right now, but a lot of people are afraid to speak up. I'm friends with a lot of trans people and stuff like this, and even them, they don't support this because, this is a very extreme example of what we're seeing right now at the end of the day.
And alas, there has been misinformation out there as to the previous alias of Miss Lemieux, namely a teacher here who I understand is a good teacher and a good man and a 100% biological man, Stephen Hanna. He was named as the alias of Mr. Lemieux. That is incorrect. And what is outrageous is that the Halton District School Board knew about this misinformation being reported the world over for at least 5 days. And yet they never corrected that. Now, we reached out to the Halton District School Board, to their communications person who barely communicates, to the director of education, and even to the school itself. Why don't we run a few clips of us mentioning Mr. Hanna's name and never being corrected, and in the case of the school, a nasty receptionist slamming the phone down when I was trying to get clarification. Check it out.
You're not welcome on the property.
Okay. And
This
sorry,
is one of the vice principals, and they can ask you to leave the property.
ma'am, what do you think about Mr. Hanna
we're not answering questions
turning
right now.
this school into a laughingstock around the world?
We are going to ask that you have to leave the property right now, please.
Okay. But why is that?
so much.
You don't believe in a free press?
Reached Oakville Trafalgar High School. To speak with our office staff, please press 0. One moment, please. Main office may help you.
Oh, yes. Good morning. Can I speak with Mr. Stephen Hanna, please?
I think he's teaching right now. Are you a parent or?
Oh, no, I was just, I'm trying to confirm if Mr. Hanna also goes by the name of Miss Kayla Lemieux.
Okay, we're not having this conversation. Thank you for calling. Bye-bye.
Oh,
No individuals to speak with you at present.
Okay.
If you have a media inquiry, it should be sent to our communications
oh,
manager.
I did.
Menzies.
I did.
So-
But we're just wondering why Mr. Hanna can violate the dress code,
We have no
why he
comment.
can
If you
violate.
Please leave the.
Oh, I'm sorry. And who are you, please?
Okay.
But so why is there a different set of standards for allegedly transgender teachers?
Excuse
Oh,
me.
hi.
You're not
there.
invited into this room.
Oh, is that
okay?
right? We were just
You-
trying to find out some more information about Mr. Hanna. Does anyone know why there's two sets of standards for health and safety and for dress codes at Halton District? You're Mr. Innes, right?
Please, yes.
How you
go
doing?
ahead. Can I-
Why?
step out?
Why is that being tolerated, sir? My name's David Menzies with Rebel News. I sent you an email, and it's in regard to Mr. Hanna breaking the dress code, not adhering to the shop health and safety rules, and I'm wondering why that's being tolerated.
So, can we speak outside, please?
Okay, I'm gonna take it outside.
So we are, as a board, we are committed to human rights, and we're committed to supporting all our teachers and staff and students in an environment that upholds their dignity, their gender identity, and their gender expression. Right? Issues around safety are matters that we deal with on an ongoing basis, and we continue to deal with those issues, not just with this teacher, but with all teachers. So that is something that we're committed to health and safety for all our students and staff.
But I noticed, Mr. Innes, you can't display nipples as part of the dress code of the Halton District School Board. All of his outfits, he's displaying nipples. In the shop, he's wearing long sleeves. Those massive prosthetic breasts are near cutting equipment. I would argue if this was a student doing this, it would not be tolerated. So why does this person get such leeway?
You keep saying he. The first thing is we are, being respectful of all of our gender identity and gender expression of all of our staff, and we are supportive of our staff and our students. The dress code is for students, and the dress code is not for staff. The dress code is for students.
But in any event, as I said, we tried to confirm the identity of Lemieux. Evidently, he's always gone by the same surname, but he used a different first name. And it was only at 10:18 p.m. last night that the communications and engagement manager, that would be Heather Francie, sent an email to me saying that we had the wrong name. So the question arises, folks, was this laziness? Was this incompetence? Was this maliciousness? And I say maliciousness because they knew damn well Mr. Hanna was not this person. So did they purposely want for the media to get this wrong so that they could discredit the media reports? If that's the case, this is grotesque and egregious. And for someone who is a communications manager to take more than 5 days to correct the record, if I was running the Halton District School Board, I think I'd be asking somebody right now to update their resume. In any event, folks, back to the issue at hand, and that would be Mr. Lemieux and his giant prosthetic breasts, with nipples protruding through a see-through blouse. What is going on here at this high school that this is being tolerated? Now, I initially reached out to Dr. Margot Shuttleworth, a trustee with the Halton District School Board. She told me that they have no choice but to accommodate Mr. Lemieux in his costume, because otherwise he would have a valid Ontario Human Rights Commission complaint. And I reached out to Miss Francie, that's the communications director who barely communicates. Also, Curtis Ennis, he, him, he's the director of education. And Jacqueline Newton, well, you hear her title, Superintendent of Innovation and Ingenuity, Virtual Secondary Learning, Alternative Learning, and International Students. Well, that's a mouthful. And just for the record, here are the questions I asked them, at least some of the questions. Number one, what is the ostensible policy reason for Mr. Lemieux wearing such oversized prosthetic breasts? Some have suggested that he is actually making a mockery of natural woman. If so, is this not a case of misogyny? Number two, is there perhaps something else at play here? For example, given the outlandish size of his fake breasts, is this a prank being played by Mr. Lemieux, or is it possibly an indicator that Mr. Lemieux might be mentally ill? Three, it has been suggested that Mr. Lemieux is deliberately trying to get fired so that he can launch an Ontario Human Rights Tribunal case and sue the Halton District School Board. Could this be his motivation for drawing so much attention to himself? Four, numerous photos show that the nipples on Mr. Lemieux's fake breasts are protruding. This is against the Halton District School Board dress code. However, I was informed by Dr. Shuttleworth that the dress code only applies to students, not teachers. Is this indeed correct? And five, photos also depict Mr. Lemieux in shop class using potentially dangerous equipment. The prosthetic breasts would seem to be a hazard. As well, Mr. Lemieux is wearing long sleeves, which I understand is contrary to workshop etiquette. Has there been any steps taken to address this? Now, after I was informed last night about the misinformation regarding the name of the other staff member here, I reached out again to Ms. Francie, the communications director who barely communicates. Here were my questions. One, as communications officer, why did you allow this misinformation regarding Hannah and Lemieux to be reported around the world without correcting the record until late last night? Two, do you regret that you allowed this to happen? Three, has Mr. Hannah asked for an apology from the Halton District School Board, given that the board did not immediately correct this misinformation? And four, finally, I understand the dress code does not apply to teachers. However, there are numerous photos circulating that show Mr. Lemieux is breaching the safety rules of the workshop. Is this going to be addressed? I received a reply back from Ms. Francie. It was just all about correcting the record and not, of course, addressing my specific questions to her and the board. There you have it, folks. Two things popped to mind in the aftermath. One is, in terms of those protruding nipples, I think I have found another use for the miracle material that is duct tape. Yeah, I don't even think Red Green could ever have dreamed of this as a solution. Second, and more seriously, folks, the Ontario municipal elections are just around the corner, October 24th. Now, not a lot of people care about municipal elections. I'm not sure why. And an even larger number don't even bother when it comes to voting for the school trustee. But this is an example of why you should pay attention to who is running for school trustee. They're making the decisions that affect your children. So when would-be candidates for the position of trustee come a door knocking in Halton Region, maybe you want to ask them, what is their position on this grotesque laughingstock who is employed here at Oakville Trafalgar High School? I'd like to hear what their answers would be, especially if they're planning on getting elected. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Folks, I know you appreciate that Rebel News brings you the other side of the story, and just look at this particular story of a teacher in Oakville wearing enormous fake breasts to class. It's received all kinds of international publicity, but barely a peep in terms of the mainstream media. In Canada, I wonder why that is. In any event, we need your help to bring you this kind of journalism. Please go to rebelinvestigates.com. That's rebelinvestigates.com. And if you can donate $1 or $3, that would be greatly appreciated.